Case summary: Stanford v. Kentucky 1989 was a landmark United States Supreme Court case concerning the constitutionality of imposing the death penalty on offenders who were under the age of 18 at the time of their crime. The case specifically addressed whether such a penalty constituted cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment. Background facts: in this case, claimant plaintiff Kevin Stanford, age 17 at the time of the crime. Defendant: the state of Kentucky. Kevin Stanford was convicted of murder and sentenced to death by the state of Kentucky. The crime was committed when Stanford was 17 years old. The case involved challenging the constitutionality of executing individuals who committed crimes as minors. Arguments: Kevin Stanford's argument. He argued that executing individuals who were under 18 at the time of their offense violated the Eighth Amendment's prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. Stanford's defense emphasized the immaturity and diminished culpability of juveniles compared to adults. Kentucky's argument: the state argued that the severity of the crime justified the imposition of the death penalty regardless of the offender's age at the time of the offense. They contended that age alone should not be a decisive factor in determining the punishment for a serious crime. Final outcome and law justification. Final outcome: the Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision that the Eighth Amendment's prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment did not categorically prohibit the death penalty for crimes committed by individuals under the age of 18. The court held that there was no national consensus against executing juveniles under 18, and therefore such a penalty did not violate evolving standards of decency. Law justification. The majority opinion, written by Justice Scalia, reasoned that historical practices and legislative enactments across states demonstrated that there was not a clear consensus against executing juvenile offenders. The court emphasized that the Eighth Amendment's interpretation should evolve with societal standards, and in this case, there was insufficient evidence of a societal consensus against the death penalty for juveniles. Key concept, implication. Stanford v. Kentucky reinforced the discretion of individual states in determining their policies regarding the death penalty for juvenile offenders. It highlighted that the imposition of the death penalty on minors is a matter left to state legislative discretion rather than a strict constitutional prohibition. Key learnings from Stanford v. Kentucky: candidates can learn about the significance of state discretion in criminal sentencing policies, the impact of societal consensus on constitutional interpretation, and the evolving standards regarding the imposition of severe penalties on juvenile offenders. It underscores the importance of understanding the intersection of age, culpability, and constitutional protections in criminal justice.